Hey everybody, it's Heather with Spindle Mountain Mercantile. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are making this Christmas book stack with some of the new IOD 2024 Christmas release transfers. And let me tell y'all, it did not start off in my brain looking anything like this. So I'm going to take you on a little journey of how this came to be. Join me. I went to the local Dollar Tree and looked through their books. I was actually looking at different colors and sizes. I was really pleased with the ones I got in regards to their shape. This first one is Pearls of Wisdom by Barbara Bush. Just love that woman. Second one is a keto diet book. And the third one, I don't know. I think it's about a Russian czar who killed a bunch of people and his escapades with some woman. So let's just hope it's not R-rated. I know I could have looked it up, but you know what, y'all? It was the one that fit the right way. And look at this beautiful binding. I think at this moment when I'm looking at these books, I think, oh, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint them red and I'm going to use the new gilded transfer on the binding. And I'm so excited because it's going to look amazing, right? Yeah, that's not at all where I went. So here's what happened. I am watching YouTube as I create in my she shack, and I'm watching the provincial farmhouse with Erin. And I had done a search for book stacks and different book DIYs, and hers was the first one that came up. I had thought I might do some things like Sonnet did with Sonnet's Garden Blooms, and she used some IOD molds. So that's kind of where I was going, and I was like, wait, hold it. See that remote right there? Yeah. I had to stop it because I had to go back and look what Erin was doing. She's using drop cloth on some books. So I tear my drop cloth. My mom is a quilter and she taught me to get a straight line. You tear, you don't cut. And I could not cut a straight line to save my life, y'all. It's the truth. I'm using horrible scissors too. My mother never let me use her scissors. So I just get the part cut or started and then I tear it. I'm going to walk you through one entire book. Oops, didn't get it quite started good enough. Went the wrong way. Just gonna make another little cut. That's okay. This is drop cloth from Harbor Freight, and I think it's like $8 or $13 or something, and it's ginormous. It's yards and yards and yards. It just goes on forever. It is an excellent buy. I have used this on so many things. I have a curtain under my sink in my utility room that has a IOD transfer on it, and it hasn't faded. It gets messy in there. It's in great condition. Okay, so I cut this quite a bit bigger than the book, and I don't care about wrinkles. When you stretch it out as you're gluing it down, it doesn't show any wrinkles. So I'm using Gorilla Glue, spray adhesive, and I'm gonna just spray the whole inside part. And you may need to make sure you have a ventilated space, especially if you have a husband like mine who comes into your she shack and says, honey, you're gonna die in here. Or you're gonna get high. I didn't, though. I didn't get high. I have the air conditioner blowing across and I have an open window, okay? I have to leave it open so the chickens can come in and visit me. It's the truth. All right, so I'm just pressing it down on one side, and then I'm gonna push it down on the binding. And then we're going to do the other side. And here's where I'm stretching it. I'm just going to pull it down, make sure I get it nice and tight. And right there, see where my thumb is and my pointer finger? That's where the indentation is on either side of the binding. And I'm making sure that you can see that dent. I don't know what you call it. I'm sure there's some name for it. Oh, right there. See? That part. Now we're going to open up the book and I'm just going to spray some glue, and you can also use a glue gun. I believe that's what Erin used. I decided, let's see, I'm trying to remember the order I did this. Oh yeah, so I spray everything just on the edges, and I fold it in, and I changed this in the second book, or the third book, I can't remember. I'll show you later what I did instead. I cut the corner here after I folded it. Look, that stuff gets stuck to my fingers. Ah! That adhesive is really good. I mean, I still have a little bit on my fingers, and I filmed this 2 days ago. Oh, maybe that's gross and I shouldn't share that, but hey, it is what it is, and I am who I am. So I'm trying to figure out how to cut this, and I think, oh, just gonna put a little triangle. Well, you know what? This actually didn't work that great, because you can see just a little bit of the cover of one of the books on the corner. I will probably take some paint and just touch that up. I'm doing a lot of cutting here, so my mind is going, thinking, how can I do this better next time? And I did. So I'm just going to continue now, going around and pulling it tight everywhere. On the next book, I also realize I should have cut the section outside the binding, or on the ends of the binding, on the top and bottom. I should have cut that before. But hey, live and learn. If I would have watched Erin more, I probably would have known that, right? But I'm making stuff while I watch. I'm a multitasker, what can I say? Again, these scissors are just awful. You know, I have to tell y'all, my mom would never let me touch her scissors, and I know now that even as an adult that I am the reason we can't have nice things. You'll see me cutting wire, floral with with these scissors, cutting plastic. I've cut a hangnail with them. I've probably cut a toenail or two. I mean, I just use them for all the things. That's why I buy them like 6 at a time from Amazon. Let me tell you what my husband says about scissors and knives. A sharp knife is a safe knife, and that is the truth for scissors too. There's a lot less slipping and jarring movements, and you're a lot less likely to cut yourself if you have a good pair of scissors. So I recommend using pair of fabric scissors, like the kind your mother said, don't touch those scissors when you were a kid, or like me, when you're pushing 60 and your mama still says, don't use those scissors. So right there you can see where the corner shows, and I had barely enough fabric to just kind of pull it over and tuck it in and glue it a little bit more. My husband just gave me some kettle corn, so if you hear some lip smacking, that's what that's all about. All right, so I cut this pretty short because you can't see the end of the fabric, and I found a really cool way to tackle those ends in a later book. But for right now, I'm just gonna get more stuff stuck on my fingertips. I'm telling you, that stuff was like a gorilla had grabbed my fingers and stuck their fur on it. That's what it was like. Yeah, don't do it this way. I'm just asking to cut myself right here, right? My hand is actually pretty far down, so I'm not going to cut it. It just looks like it's right there. Anyway, we find a better way to do that. I just can't say it enough. Don't do dangerous things with scissors, okay? Don't push binding fabric down by your hand, and don't run with them. All those things, you know, you learned when you're a kid. Even if you have sharp scissors, maybe especially if you have sharp ones. Okay, book 1 is done. I'm going to speed things up and quickly go through the second and third book. So I slowed things down a little so you can see now. This is how I figured out how to do it, right? No. The third time was a charm. Not this one. In the video I was watching, Erin from the provincial farmhouse, left the books so that the pages or the covers weren't glued down and the pages weren't glued together so that you could read them if you wanted. I left these the same way. I'm telling you, I almost glued that last one though, because I'm afraid it's naughty. And nobody wants that. Well, I mean, maybe somebody wants that, but I don't want that. And I don't want people who buy these from me to think I want that. So with this one, I can't remember if I cut the... Nope, still haven't learned the lesson. I'm cutting that part before. But y'all, just wait till we get to the next book. I'm so excited because I finally figured out how to do it the right way. Oh, you'll just be so proud of me. Well, maybe not, but I was proud of me. So this is where I'm figuring it out. I realized these little sticks from the transfer books, IOD sends, they fit down. If you pull the cover back, the binding like has this hole. See there? It has this opening place where you can just push that thing right down in there. And by the third book, well, this is the third book. How about that? I didn't realize I went that fast. So that stick that you use to rub the transfers on, it fits down in there just perfect. And what I figured out is, because there's glue, I used hot glue and the adhesive spray, you just push it way down in there. And then when you pull it out, you kind of put your hand over it to hold it tight, and you just rip it out. You'll see how I do it here. You just pull it out really fast. So I push it all the way down to get it flat. Here, I slowed it down so you can see it. Now watch this. I'm gonna hold my finger there and just pull it out real fast. There you go. Yay! Perfect. It's perfect, I tell you, perfect. I am pleased as punch with how this turned out. Now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to stack them. Do I want them flat? Like this? So I can put one thing all the way across it. This time I'm still thinking I'm going to use the gilded transfers. The gilded transfers are called tinsel. And I was thinking I could use some of the words and maybe put them on all three bindings, or maybe put something along the bottom and then just put different words on the top. But nope, we're gonna we're going to go with something completely different. So I'm going to go through Yuletide. That's the name of this transfer book. And oh my gosh, you guys, it has all the things. It has cute little animals and fairies and old-time Santas and greenery. And oh, it's wonderful. Oh, just love everything in here. I had to keep 2 of these, those birds. Oh, and look at this. Perfect. Perfect. So I think, okay, they're gonna work. These are what's going on the binding. Now what can we put on the front of the top one? Oh, looky what we have here. Does it fit? Tiny bit too tall, but I have the perfect fix for that. When I cut things out of my transfer books, I always leave the page in if I can. Sometimes I can't because it might be the picture that's up at the top where the page connects to the book. But I find it easier to not lose things if I do it this way. I do have some plastic protectors that I can put pieces in. So I'm just kind of looking through the book to see what I can put with the tree, because I know that tree's not enough. Well, the tree and the one little fix I have to make it a little bit taller. So I counted these out and divided them by 8. So I put these down and I just rubbed them once over. And then I did the edges, and this is fast motion, but I am really rubbing hard here because it's fabric and you have to do just a little bit more to make sure it comes off. And if you lift when you're, so I go over it once, and then as I'm pulling it back, I just rub right at the crease. If you have a piece that isn't sticking, just push the plastic back down and rub some more and it will come right off. So this is where I realized, I'm going to have too short of a piece on one of the books, and I'm not sure why I videoed all of this. I guess you could just get to look through the book with me at all these goodies. Right now I'm searching for some greenery that matches. I was hoping I still had some. I have 2 of these books and I was hoping I still had some, but apparently I used it already for something else. That garland is just fabulous. It's amazing. It goes with all the things. So I finally do find a piece that matches good and has the same coloring. It's a little bit bigger leaves, but that's okay because it's good enough. So what I'm going to do is cut the piece that I have in half. I'm going to fussy cut it. But again, doesn't really matter because this is going to go over each end. And I'm okay with the overlap. You know what more is? More is more. Sometimes less is not better. I like more. So I'm just going to find the middle here and I'm going to fussy cut around the leaves. And I'll put one starting from each end. And again, I'm just going to lay it down where I want it and give it a cursory rub with my fingers, and then use my stick. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, after you're done, you want to burnish it. You use the same plastic backing and you just rub over the top of it. And I do it pretty firmly on canvas. On non-porous surfaces, you don't have to be quite so vigorous. So look, it just comes up so easy. You guys, these things are amazing. And these books cost, well, the price varies depending on where you buy it. But even with shipping, these come out to like, if you divide up all the things in there, it's like 25 cents each or something. Oh, I just love how that looks. So cute. All right. I am going to make sure all the words go the same direction. And we're going to put the Christmas tree on. And same thing, I'm just going to get it exactly lined up, and I make sure that it's square by using the grid lines. Those are so amazing. IOD sisters are just genius when they... I'm assuming that they came up with all these tricks, but they have wonderful people who work with them too. So somebody over there came up with the great idea for these grid lines, and I just line them up so they're straight, and then I can be sure my tree isn't crooked. And I'm gonna just rub that with that plastic stick all over, and then I will start in one corner and lift it while I am rubbing at the part where the plastic bends back. And I wish you could see up close. Every once in a while you'll see a piece comes up. I'll lift it up and you'll see some of the picture on it. So I just lay it back down and rub it again. Oh, and I burnished it. Didn't get to see that really. Okay. So here's my trick for the top. I have these stars from the other Christmas book, which is called Crimson Velvet. I'm going to cut one of these stars, and I like the 6-pointed stars. And one thing I noticed is that it has shadows or shading, and so does the tree. So I'm just making sure that the shading is down, coming from like the light would be coming from the top left-hand side. And the shading will all be on the bottom. I don't know if anybody else would notice that, but I did. See, right there, there's the shading. So I made sure it's the same on the star. I just can't help myself. I gotta stack them up and see what they look like. Ugh, I am loving these so much. I kind of want to keep them, but you know, my husband says I can't keep all the things. So now I have to decide what's going with the tree, because the tree is just not enough. And I love the fairies. The Merry Fairies from last year, I believe, were the influence, I guess, for this year. And I had already cut some out. There's some that I thought that one has stuff around her feet, so I didn't think she'd look good floating, but there's two that don't have anything around their feet. And that one kind of clashes with the tree. This next one, though, I think it is just a nice contrasting color. But you know what? They just don't do it for me. I felt like it wasn't enough. And let me tell you, everything I put birds on sells, like, immediately. So at this point, I am thinking birds it is. There are several different versions and sizes of those birds I showed you earlier that are on a limb. And look at these guys. Oh, perfect. They're just perfect. And also, I'm putting a string on these books. I'm putting string around like a present, so it's like a cross. And I have to have something that I can put the string through the middle on the up and down part and across. So the one with two little birds, I realized I could put that string right through. Here I go, looking at the fairies again. Can't help myself. Look, this one's flying, I think. Okay, I'm gonna cut them out. I'm gonna cut them out. Oh, man. I was gonna re-edit this audio, but you know, when I first started doing this, my whole thing was, I'm not perfect. And I think a lot of times influencers are looked at as perfect, and I know some of them, and they're not. They're just regular people that have good ideas or know how to follow directions of somebody else's good ideas. So here you get to just see my whole process. I'm cutting more fairies. I thought, okay, these are the right size. And there's one on here who's just the right color. I take the back off because I'm thinking, nope, I'm gonna make the fairy work. But as I'm doing this, I realize, you know what? The string, I can't put the fairy anywhere where I really think the string would go across and not cut her in half. So here we go. Here's the birds. Aren't they cute? Oh my goodness. I want to buy all the things with the birds. I want to keep all the things with the birds and then go buy everybody else's birds. So where do I want them? Up at the top or down at the bottom? They can't be in the middle because of the string. So I think they look most balanced at the bottom half. So here we go. It is so easy to put transfers on top of other transfers. They really stick to each other. So do not put your transfer down until you know exactly where you want it to go. Oh, look, I have to try a fairy one more time. Can I make her fit? Can I? Can I? Really want to use the fairy. She's so cute. But nope. Nope. I will tape those together. They don't stick once you pull them apart. And I'll tape them together before I put them in my plastic case. All right. So I'm just going to press them down where I want them. And I don't have to rub nearly as vigorously because it's on top of another transfer. So easy, y'all. Just rub that plastic stick over the whole thing and then start with one corner. And as I lift, I rub at the part where I lift the plastic. And that is it. Well, and then I burnish it. But then that's it. Okay, now the string. See this ribbon? It's just burlap ribbon. And I pull the strings off of the sides. I like that it has some ink on it. I think I did them in 4 pieces. Pretty sure I did 4. So it's going to go around twice across and then just once up and down. I do wish I would have thought about making the bottom or doubling up the top, but it's okay. The way it turned out is real cute. So I'm just going to tie it twice around, and that keeps it staying while I tie the other one and make a knot. And then I'm going to go do the same thing up and down. So I want to make sure that you can still see the star up at the top. And at the bottom, I make it go right through the birds. And at the top, I just kind of spread it out a little once I get it where I want the string. I'm just going to tie a simple knot. I think it's a square knot, so it's left over right, right over left, or right over left, left over right. I'm going to cut the string. Oh, here I am, just putting it in a place where I think it looks best. I decided to pull it up from the birds just a little bit. And I remembered to look at the back. I rarely look at the back of my projects. Well, I used to not. I'm better now about it. People look at the back of stuff. So I'm just spreading it out a little bit. I'm fanning it, I guess you could say. And at the top, I realize right now, can't see the star. So I will fix that too. If y'all are still with me, I appreciate you being here so much. I love this book, or this stack. When I made this video, I ran in the house and I said, honey, I just made my first video that's gonna go viral on YouTube. This is so cute. Okay, I am making a bow. So do you see how the strings aren't all the same length? I put my little doohickey from the Dollar Tree on my finger so I won't burn myself. And I'm just putting a tiny little dot. And where the shorter pieces of thread are, I'm just pushing down. So the longer pieces will stick out. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Anyway, if y'all love this as much as I do, I would love if you gave me a thumbs up. Tell me what you think about it in the comments too. Did you know that it helps with other people seeing my videos if you make comments? Yeah, I'm learning so much. I'm going to be a big YouTube star, so all this stuff is really important. And just think, you get to tell everybody you were there in the beginning. Okay, I'm just kind of pressing that down how I want it. And I'm going to... I found this greenery on the side of the road. That's where I get a lot of my stuff, y'all. This is my favorite right here. When I run out of this, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just little tiny plastic dots or rubber dots. I think they're plastic. And I just cut them, and the bottom part is the plastic like stem. And so all the dots are on the top, and I just kind of arrange them. And then I have to put the little berries because there's berries in the garland and on the binding and on the birds. Oh, so cute. Oh my goodness. Now, if the string wasn't laying exactly where I want it, I would put some glue underneath it. I do that a lot. I didn't need to with this. It just sat perfectly. And that's it. That's how I came up with the idea for this book stack. It changed it all the way through the whole process. And that's pretty much how everything is with me. I stopped on the way in the house and took some pictures and a little video. And at the end, you'll get to see my rooster Rhodey looking at me. He thinks I'm too close to his girlfriends. His girlfriends were raised in the house when they were babies, so they're real friendly. But we got him when he was 4 months old, and he's kind of a jerk. He doesn't want me to hold his girlfriends. Anyway, I hope you like this. And if you did, consider subscribing to my channel. I will see you next time, y'all. From Rhodey and me. Bye.